Put your head on my shoulder.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name's Becky. I discuss about vintage fashion, chronic illness, and a whole bunch of things really. Just gonna try and get on with it today because I normally ramble. Today's video is going to be basic, and I mean basic makeup for people who are like me, who have trouble with it. I have dyspraxia, which is a developmental coordination problem, and there is another video coming about that, so keep your eyes peeled if this is something that interests you. But for me personally, putting makeup on is a real challenge. I don't really know what I'm doing. I've not got the best coordination or the best skills to deal with it. I know there's a lot of people out there who also have dyspraxia or other problems, and they might find it interesting or useful to know some of the tips that I've kind of picked up along the way on how to do my makeup. So there is a mirror just here that I'm going to be looking in, but I will try and kind of show you what I'm doing. I'm not good enough to not look in the mirror, but you'll see. I'm just going to turn this on because I can reach it. This might help the situation. Okay, so I don't wear makeup on an everyday basis at all. I wear it for special occasions or if I'm filming. So let's go. I'm going to show you the basics of what I have in. I've got two bags. I don't know if you can see, but they have little Bedlington Terriers on. I don't know, I've forgotten how you do this. They have Bedlington Terriers on it, and I have a little Bedlington Terrier. So let's get started. Now I have two different bags for kind of, let's say, I don't really know how to describe it. This is a kind of concealer, primer, bit of blusher situation. This has sort of foundation in it. And I keep the two separate because I think that if I shoved it all in one bag, it would become a bit overwhelming and confusing for me. So I put them in the two separate bags, and that just makes it a lot easier for me. I don't know if it will be doing that for other people, so I'm just moving the mirror. Okay. So this is the, I don't think I'm doing this right at all, the Benefit Professional, that's so hard to say, primer. For me, this works well. I know a lot of people can use this as sort of like a foundation base, which sometimes works quite well if you don't want to put foundation on, because that can be quite difficult if you have dyspraxia. So what I do is unscrew the lid. I really am walking you through it because I know it can be really difficult. And I put like this amount, I don't know if it will show you, a sort of pea-size amount on, and I do this, and I literally just rub it all over my face. It's kind of got a certain smell to it, so you kind of know that it's on your face, if that makes sense. I know this all sounds really weird, but for me with dyspraxia, this is the best way that I felt to do, like how to deal with it best. So I put that sort of amount on, and I might put another, we're talking a pea-size amount, which for me, I always found confusing as to what that meant. But literally with this in a little small, this is 7.5 mil, I literally, a squeeze is a pea-size amount. So just do another little squeeze, if I can get some out. Okay, there we go. So, and we're just going to put that on the neck, like so. Really try and rub it in, okay? Because I know that for me, what I worry about with putting makeup on is that it will be streaky. So that's your simple first step. Done. So now you've got a primed face. Lots of people wear this, I think people just wear primer as like a foundation type situation. So if you want to do that, that's fine. Go for it. So we're done with this now. Okay, and what I use next, and I find this the most easy to use, this is the Wing Hydrating Concealer by Benefit. So it comes in like a, I really don't think I'm doing this right, like a lipstick sort of container. Okay, so it's got a really thick applicator for you to hold onto and have good grip, which for me is needed. So you sort of, like a lipstick, you twist it up, and I don't know if you can see that. I really am not very good at this. It's got a hydrating outer thing, and then in the middle is the concealer. So that's the shade that you pick. For me, I'm super pale, and I am literally number 1, which is the palest. Okay, for me, I just put it around the eye. So I'm going to be looking in this mirror, but what I do this, sort of try and look, and I just do a swipe, 1-2 swipe underneath, and I put it back in the thing for now because I don't want to make a mess, and I grab a concealer brush. This is a Real Techniques expert concealer brush. I'm no expert, but this is what we do. Okay, so I'm sort of looking in the mirror as I'm doing it, but as you can see, I'm sort of really rubbing it in is the best way I can describe it. I'm rubbing it in. I sometimes use little circular motions, but not always. I literally just go for the thing of rub it in as best as you can. Okay, so I'm gonna do that and try and get like right under the lid. I don't know about anybody else, but it kind of freaks me out a bit, but it's got to be done. Well, it's not got to be done, but you know what I mean. Okay, so that's sort of blended in, I think. Now, I don't think you're supposed to do this. Makeup professionals might come at me and go, you're not supposed to do this, but for me, it works. So, unscrew the concealer again, like so, and I probably you're not supposed to do this. I do on top of the eye as well, so I'm going to end up blinding myself here, like so. I don't think you're supposed to do it in the makeup community, but that's what I do. Okay, so what I'm doing is the same motion I did down the bottom, but obviously a bit lighter because the lid's a bit more sensitive. So, or I might actually do a padding down motion. I mainly just want to make sure that you can't see a line, okay? We're talking really basic here. You don't need to put too much on, and just sort of blend it in a bit. I know when people say that, you're like, what do you mean by blend it in? But just sort of keep brushing until it kind of looks like the same colour as your skin tone. Now, I can't contour, I can't do any of that. This is literally the basics for people like me who can't do more. Oh gosh, my shirt didn't look great. Okay, so we've done that on this eye, and we're just going to repeat it on the other eye, exactly the same. Okay, so I don't need to show you this because you've done it already, but just do the same again on the other eye. So if you have maybe red bits around the nose or some imperfections or whatever you'd like to call them on your chin, you can do exactly the same with just your little concealer thing again. Make sure it's, you know, barreled up, put a bit on the nose like so, and just blend in. Literally just buff it until you can't see anymore. That's what I do. Wherever you feel like you need it. I mean, we wear masks a lot at the moment, unless you're exempt obviously, so you know, you normally don't see this part of the face anyway so much, but maybe you're going out for a meal, whatever you fancy. Okay, so we're done with that. We're going to put this away. We shouldn't need this anymore. So now that we've done that, do you know what? I never wear jeans. They're just very weird for me. Okay, so now we get our bigger bag, and if we're deciding to put foundation on, you don't have to do any of these, but you can definitely thingy this step if you like. Now, I went to a makeup counter I don't know if anybody else with dyspraxia has done that, and they show you things and you're like, huh, what are you doing? I don't understand. I don't understand. But I said to somebody, okay, can I have the most simple foundation choice? And I went to Bobbi Brown, who were very kind actually. And what they said was, get this just says Skin Foundation SPF 15, and it's by Bobbi Brown. Oh god, you can really tell I'm not on makeup. How do you do this again? Oh gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if that's doing it. It's literally the Bobbi Brown. This is in the shade Porcelain, which is the lightest colour they do, because I'm super pale. Okay, and what I did buy, so I bought this from the counter, and I also bought this. Now, this is the best thing for makeup I've ever bought. I've gone through stages where I've tried lots of different makeup and it's not worked for me because of having dyspraxia, and all of these things are quite difficult. But for me, this brush, genius. Okay, so this is the Bobbi Brown Precise Buffing Brush. Now this, I think this works wonders. So what I do is I also get a foundation brush. Now I bought this one online because I wasn't going to spend an absolute fortune on both brushes. So what I did is I bought this and I bought the buffing brush at the same time. But what I do is, number one, we get our foundation. Okay, now some people put it on the face. For me, too confusing. My brain can't connect those two things. So for me, what I do is I put a little tiny, whoop, like that. I don't know if you can see that. It's literally another pea-size amount. I take the foundation brush, the long foundation brush, which is very easy to grip. Okay, so that's handy. Okay, what I do is I dab it into the foundation, and it sort of leaves a mark like so. So that means you've got some on your brush, okay? Now what I do is I normally start from the center of the face because that's the biggest area and that works well for me. Now when you put it on the face, it might be streaky, but bear with me on it, okay? So you start putting it on the face. I put it here first, around where I put the concealer. Sorry, I'm sort of looking in both, okay? So we're starting to put it on the face, and I do use dragging motions, probably not what a beauty YouTuber would suggest, but it's what works best for me. Okay, so that pea-size amount has covered this part of the face, okay? So bear in mind, it can still be streaky at this point, all right? But what we will do is we will take the buffing brush and we'll use circular motions to buff any streaks out, okay? But we'll do that at the end, otherwise it comes a bit confusing as to what order you do things in. So we're going to grab the foundation again, and we're going to use another pea-size amount. This one comes out quite easily, so don't need to worry about that. Another sort of padding motion like you would paint on a palette. And we're going to just do the same on the other side of the cheek, okay? Again, really, really simple. Okay. I don't use too much foundation. That's up to everybody's personal preference, but just not for me. Okay, there's still a little bit left on the hand, so we're just gonna carry on with that. And we don't want to forget to get in the nose and around this area. So just think I'm painting the whole of my face. Like if I was covering it with everything, this is what I would do. So you've got in this little crease here. Now, obviously don't forget the chin and don't forget the neck. So move the hair out of the way. Okay, bit more on the back of the hand. Ooh, having trouble squeezing it. Right, bit more on the back of the hand. again the same dabbing motion as before, and the neck and the bottom of the chin and the chin. Okay, so this all looks quite, I don't know, not sure. Oh god, I've got it in my hair. See? We all make mistakes, don't we? Okay. So we're sort of just getting everywhere that we need to with it. We're just painting our face, basically. That's the best way of putting it. Now we've got to do the forehead and this part of your T-zone. Is that what it's called? That's what I'm going to call it. So carry on, like so. So at this moment, it's looking a bit streaky. I don't know if you can see that. Oh gosh, didn't really blend that bit in well. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the mirror, in the video, but I can see it you can't. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the video, but I can see it in the mirror. Okay, so let's say that that's pretty much it done. Okay, so like that. We put our foundation brush away, we put the lid on our foundation, and we grab our trusty buffing brush. Now, what I do, I just go for it, okay? I literally just do this. Now, if it's too harsh on your skin, you don't like the texture, the feeling of going too hard, that's fine. You can go slower and less and are more likely, but it'll take longer. So just buff in circular motions. You can do around the eye, you can do everywhere. So don't forget to buff your neck. Well, that doesn't feel very nice. Don't forget to just buff everywhere. Everywhere that you have put foundation, just buff it out. Buff it out. So if you put anywhere you put foundation, you can do buff like circular motions, you can do line motions, whatever works best for you, that when you look in the mirror you can say, ah, I can't see any streaks, we're looking okay. So, and don't forget, if you don't know, if you're not sure if it looks right, ask someone. After any time I've done my makeup, go to my dad, did that look alright? Doesn't look streaky? And he'll go, no, and I think that's because I buffed it. So don't worry, you can always ask someone, it's totally fine. Okay, so now we've buffed out, make sure we get in the corners. Okay, now I think everybody does these steps differently in different orders. This is what works best for me. Okay, so we've done that buffing brush up now, we're going to put that away. So you've got your choice next of doing mascara, blusher, if I can find my blusher, and some people use highlighter. So for me, what I normally do is I normally do my mascara next. Now I've used two mascaras recently. I got this Bobbi brown one free when I bought my makeup, but I don't like it so much. It's a bit more difficult for me to use, and this one is waterproof, so I go with this one. I actually don't know what brand this is. I 100% asked for it for Christmas because it had a vintagey thing on it. But there we go, I hope that's doing something. It's called Scuba, and it's a water resistant black mascara. Okay, so what you do, and this is very, very important, is you unscrew, because this is going to be the most difficult part. 1 second, because I think my thing's about to finish recording. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I didn't want it to cut out recording halfway through the really important part. Okay, so we've got our mascara, we've unscrewed the lid. What we're going to do is we're going to pull. Now before the mascara comes out completely, we want to pull up and down in this up and down motion to get all of the excess off the mascara. Now normally there'll be a little bit of excess on the tip, so just when you pull out, I've done a great job, pull out and push this part towards the tube, okay? Now, am I going to be able to do this looking in here? No. Okay, so we take our wand. This one's quite thin, so that works out quite well. We can put this down as long as we're not going to make a mess. We can take this, and what we're going to do is going to look in our mirror, and we're going to line it up to our eye, and we are literally just going to pull very gently on the lash. I'm barely touching the lash, okay? And this leaves a really natural look. You can repeat this step as many times as you like, but if you want a natural look, you've really got to do a few times. Now, when we want to do the other eye, do the same thing. Push back into the tube, and when you pull out several times again, and push the tip excess off. We're just going to do the same on this eye. It's sometimes a bit more difficult to get it even, the same as the other side, but that comes with practice. I've never figured it out. Now, the bottom lashes are a bit more difficult, and you can totally skip this step if you'd like, but again, if you want to do that, we really must pull it through to get rid of the excess. And what we do is we look, oh gosh, I've not done a very good job of getting rid of the excess. What we do is we look in the mirror, and we're going to push it this way rather than this way. So we're going to push it left to right, okay? So we line it up with our eye, with our eyelashes, and we just do, oh god, my hand's shaking. 1, 2, 3 on the bottom lash. Just 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do the same again on the other. I like the way that my hand's shaking as I'm trying to sort this out. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Done. That's that bit done. Now, I'm not going to do foundation, and I'm not going to do eyeshadow because I'm not confident with it personally, but that's totally your choice if you want to do that. I can't really provide you with much tips on that because it's not really, I'm just not very good at it. Okay, so up next we're going to do blusher. Now for me, finding the right blusher, that doesn't even sound like a word, blusher colour is really important. The one I have found that works well for me, and I think that it is probably going to a makeup counter and saying, hey, you just want to find a blusher, I don't want to spend too much money or whatever, you'll tell them what your budget is and say, can you help me find the right one for my skin tone? For me, it's the Simpsons one. Now I bought this based on the fact that I love the Simpsons, not that I love makeup, but you know, this is the Simpsons MAC and it's in called Sideshow U. Sideshow Bob is one of my favourite characters, and it comes in this kind of colour, which actually in that picture, I mean in that thing, looks much darker than it is. This is a very pale pink, which works for me with a pale skin tone. Okay, so what we're going to get is a big blusher brush. Again, this is really easy to hold on to because it's nice and big and thick. So this is the Techniques, Real Techniques, just blush brush, that's hard to say. Now personally, I see a lot of people put a lot of blush on, but for me, I don't feel confident because I'm thinking, oh, what about if I do too much? So what I do is I'm very light with it. And again, I'm not 100% sure I put it in the right place, but this is just how I do it. So I grab 1, 2, 3, and I look in the mirror and I think, okay, well, where do I blush naturally? And for me, it's this area, okay? So I just look in the mirror and I do 1, 2, 3, and I think, okay, does that look like enough? And I think, maybe not. So I might do another 1 circle, and I'll do a 1, 2, 3. Now, does that look like enough? For me, I'll probably do 1, 2, 3. And for me, that's good. For other people, not so. But for me, that works out well. So I'm just going to do the same on the other cheek. So now we've got some blush and we're feeling better. We've got a bit more colour going on. We might pull down a bit. We might think, oh, okay, actually, oh, that's a bit too much blush. Well, that's not enough. Each up to their own decision. Now, what I might do, if I'm not feeling very confident with how much blush I've put on, or is it too much, is it too little, I'll grab the buffing brush again that we talked about earlier, and just buff it into the face a bit more. That's everybody's decision. Some people like a lot of blush, some people don't. Whatever works well for you. Okay, now we've got another optional step, which is highlighter. This is the Benefit Dandelion Twinkle in a mini size. I think this came with the concealer that I had. I'm really bad at this. It comes in this little tiny container with a little brush, which is a little bit more difficult to use. So feel, you know, you can always use a different brush, but it comes in this tiny little thing. And for me, again, it's a 1, 2, 3. And then where we're going to put it, we're going to put this on our cheekbone, okay? So it's, I turn it, so it's this side. So ready? 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to look in the mirror and we're going to think, okay, how's that looking? So for me, this bit here is not concealed enough on this tiny bit of the cheekbone here. So we're just going to dab once and do 1, 2, 3 up the top, okay? We're going to look in the mirror and we're going to think, hey, that's not too badly highlighted. So we're going to do the same on the other side, 1, 2, 3. And if you get a little bit of excess, just tap off. And we're going to do the same, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we're going to have a look again and we're going to think, okay, we're still not getting enough here. So we're going to do again 1, and we're just going to do 1, 2, 3, like so. And that's that done. Again, if you're not overly confident, use your buffing brush again and just buff it in. Okay, that's that bit sorted. So, up last for me personally, we have the lips. Now, this is a really tough one, I think. Sorry, I should probably not do that when talking. This is the hardest part for a lot of people, I think, along with the mascara, is to find a lipstick colour that suits and one that's easy to apply. I think for a lot of people it's finding a brand that works well for them. I've had one lipstick that was by Laura Mercier, fantastic, really easy to apply, wasn't sticky. You know, you get that horrible sticky feeling with some lipsticks and you're like, no, it didn't have that at all. It was very easy to apply. If I knew where it was, I would show you, but I don't. It's probably in a handbag somewhere where I thought, oh, I'll wear that, I need to reapply when I've gone out for a meal or something. But what I have been using recently is this, and now it helps that it's in the small size. This is called Tint, and it comes, you know how it comes with a sort of nail varnish type applicator. So we're just going to thin that off. And I don't know if you can see there. It comes with a, like pretty much like a nail varnish. So what we're going to do, again, very optional step, we're going to push, like how you would with nail varnish, push the excess away like we did with the mascara. I'm going to push that away as much as it as we can. What we're going to do, I always start with the bottom lip because that's bigger, okay? So we're going to look in our mirror and we're going to put it onto the lip and move side to side. Just side to side. Okay, so we've got it on the bottom lip. Now we're just going to pucker the two together. Okay, so it sort of dries it out more. You can see here that it's not fully on the top lip. This is like what they call a, I think they call it like a lip stain or something. So it's not sticky, it's not a horrible texture. it literally just stains your lips. It obviously comes off, it doesn't permanently stain. So we're just going to dip in again, and we're going to do the same of the pushing the excess off. We definitely want to push the excess off. Makes it a lot easier to apply. Okay, so we've pushed all the excess off, and now we're just going to do the top lip, and we're just going to do that same side to side motion. So side, side. We can pucker again if that makes it easier. No. We're literally just going to paint our lips, which is quite difficult, don't get me wrong. That is literally, you know, what we are doing. So you can put this down if you're worried if you don't think you're going to spill it. I'm always worried I'm going to spill it, so I hold on to it for dear life. Okay, so you can just keep repeating this over and over until you get the level of intensity of the colour you wish. Now don't forget to get the corners of the mouth. Keep puckering if that makes it easier. So we want to make sure we get the corners of the mouth. Okay, so again, make sure whenever you dip in that you are pulling that excess away like you would nail varnish. There we go. So there's a lot of excess coming off there. And if you find it easier, you can open your mouth like so. And don't forget to do it on the bottom. Again, side to side works well. Side to side always works well with me with lipstick personally, or lip stain. And there we go, done. But yeah, that's it, we're done. And if you kind of practice, I don't like this top and how this does this. If you practice, you can get that done in, I don't know, I think if like I'm doing it quickly, I could do that in 15 minutes, which is quite speedy for someone with dyspraxia. So yeah, simple, we're done. I hope that that was helpful in some way for people who, you know, struggle with dyspraxia or other conditions. For me, when someone really describes in detail what I have to do, that helps me. So I really hope that helps somebody, and hopefully, you know, that this is a simple look that people can achieve. Hopefully, I mean, I'm not even 100% sure that's great myself. I'll go and ask my dad, Dad, does this look alright? But there are the products that I use not every day, I don't wear makeup every day. I probably wear makeup like once a week, that I use and that I find the easiest to use. And yeah, I hope that really did help someone. Please take care of yourself, stay safe, especially in these hard times. And also, Miss Taylor Swift